Well, hello friends, welcome back to Nine Little Aussies. I am just taking a moment to sit out on the veranda and watch the hummingbirds and drink the dregs of my cold coffee, which still tastes good even though it's gone cold. That happens so many times. They're just so delightful. And I think they're starting to realize that we are friends, not foes. Hello, little one. I think they're having a battle over one of the little lady hummingbirds. They have ferocious battles for such cute little birds. And I've just discovered that my basil has gone, there's so many of them. My basil has gone to seed and is flowering, and the hummingbirds love it, which is really cool. I didn't know they liked that. Anyway, I am waist deep in school planning, but I'm starting to see the end of the tunnel, starting to feel like I've got myself a plan that I'm happy with. So that is a good feeling, to feel a little bit more organized. So what have we been doing, Gracie?
Sorting out the new school stuff.
Sorting out the school papers and new stationery. There's nothing like fresh new stationery to get you excited about school, is there?
Mine.
Is that your one?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a new box. It's very exciting. Are you looking forward to school?
I want to do it now.
You want to do school now?
Yeah.
We've got a few more days to wait. It's usually around about now I start getting really excited. Around about now in the planning stage, that I start getting really excited about school and teaching the year to come. And it has just been on my mind a lot as I'm preparing, just how much homesteading and homeschooling complement each other so perfectly. At least they do for us, with our philosophy of both homesteading and homeschooling, I guess. And how intertwined the two really can be. It has been, oh, look at that little dollar weed. The boys helped me. We got all of the old overgrown stuff out of here and put wood chips down, ready for me to plant again. And look, that dollar weed comes back so fiercely, as does the Bermuda grass, but the dollar weeds are everywhere. So I just thought I'd wander over here and show you. It's been raining a lot. It's been raining kind of on and off all day, but it's just really nice and cool and lovely out here at the moment. It's muggy still, but not too bad. Okay, so this is the patch at the front where we've been weeding, and I planted the pumpkin seeds. We still haven't finished the weeding, but we're just slowly working on it. And we have a little pumpkin up here, a couple over there. That one over there is quite a bit bigger. And none of them have come up in the middle, but that's okay. And then down here, a few more have come up. Now look, all that nutgrass was gone, but of course, nutgrass being nutgrass, it's all coming back. So we're just going to have to stay on top of this. There's a couple little pumpkins there, and a couple over near this fence line, which I'm hoping will do well and then grow up over that fence. So just have to work at keeping this nut grass away, and my hope is that they will thrive here. I mean, really, I'm just trying to do something productive with this area and keep slightly on top of it until I can get to do what I really want to do here in the long term, which will be, you know, I will probably come back, cardboard it, put more wood chips down, and then I want to put a couple of, like a mulberry tree. I have mentioned this before, but a nice sitting area, maybe some more bulbs, and just maybe even like a little bit of a cottage garden feel over here. But for now, if I can get some pumpkins growing and do something other than just weeds here, that would be something good. Okay, so I thought I got this corn that is all a little bit, it's not the best crop, and some of you have given me some great ideas about that. So I am going to peel these off and check and see whether this corn is going to be something we will want to eat, or if it'll go to the chooks. And either way, it's a win. So I'm just trying to figure out as well if I've got a spot that's big enough, because one of the things we learnt is I need more than just, like, I had a double row, but I probably need more than 2 rows of corn for it to pollinate properly. So, I mean, next year it won't be a problem because we'll have that big area out the back. And there'll be heaps of space. Actually, this has got something eating it. Ew. Look. Ugh. That'll be to the chickens, that one. Yuck, yuck. Some kind of bug in there or something. But as I do this, I thought, oh, and don't you just love the artwork my little ones did with chalk? They come out here and sit at the front sometimes with chalk and do painting on the concrete. I love doing that. And sometimes it goes off the concrete pavement onto the walls, but it's just chalk, so I don't mind. Well, it doesn't seem to have any bug damage, whatever that bug was. Excuse you, Molly. Excuse you, girl. But it is, I'll show you. Got it going down into this bucket underneath here, but so some of it looks okay, but when you roll it around, it's not fully formed. So looks like that rain's coming back. We might get enough for a meal in here. So I have been homeschooling my children now for, I figured this out the other day, I had to think about it, for 12 years. So a good decent amount of time. Oh, look, that must be the little critter. I caught him in the act. Look, I don't know if you can see right there. He has eaten all through this one. I don't know what he is, some kind of corn eating bug. Well, that one can go to the chooks. Yeah, I wonder what that little bug is. So at the beginning, when we started homeschooling, we knew that we wanted something more than the state system for our kids. Hey, buddy. Yeah, it's just starting to rain again.
We have corn.
We have corn, but there's bugs in a lot of it.
Really? That's not good.
No, and I think this one's the same.
You might not be able to see the bug, but whoa, that's gross.
Yeah, that's gross.
Can I have one?
Yeah, you can help me. I don't know. I think the chooks might get a feast out of this corn.
But it's supposed to be us getting a feast, not them.
I know. We'll go again. Every time we learn grow these, we learn something.
son came down to me when I was working, and he had a fresh corn, and he just bit it off. He picked it and then bit it straight away.
Did he? He ate straight into it. Did he like it?
Yeah.
See, I reckon you can see there's a little hole there.
Oh yeah, same here.
And I reckon that's where those bugs are going in. Oh yeah, it's eaten all in it.
Oh, yuck.
Look, it's gone right in. Just put them straight in here if they're no good, because the
Yeah, that's not good.
and
Surely they haven't done it to every single.
well, I found one good one so far, but that's not gonna feed us. One cob of corn.
And that one's bad too.
Well,
even
open it up
right.
enough. Open it up enough that the chickens can get to it. That's what I'm thinking. So that, whatever that bug was, it has got a lot of our corn. That and the fact that we didn't get full pollination.
Why didn't we?
Well, apparently you got to grow more than just like 1 or 2 rows for it to get fully pollinated, because the wind blows it. And
In Australia we did this, and we got like that much.
we did, I know, I was thinking that too. We grew corn in Australia and we only grew it in 1 or 2 rows, and we got really good corn. But it was in an open
That's
area.
a good one. And then the top's just thick, and then it's just back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of corn in it, and then the bug ruined
See,
it.
they're kind of all, it's all yuck at the top, and semi-formed, but then it's eaten by that.
like-
We have gone through this whole basket, and we found one good one.
Really?
One, and it's not great. It's still only partially germinated, but at least the bugs didn't get that one. That's the only one we've...
I'm not gonna eat that one.
You're going to eat that one?
Yeah.
Oh well. The corn was a lesson. I heard Jess say this week, as long as you harvest a lesson, it's not a loss. So we'll harvest a lesson from the corn. Hi friends, it is the next day, and once again the days just keep on going with all of their busy tasks. So I'm back again on my veranda with the hummingbirds and my coffee. They seem to have, I feel like we had this big influx of them in early spring, and then they kind of petered out and we didn't see any for a couple of weeks, and now they're definitely here again. There's at least, I would say, maybe half a dozen are flitting around, males and females. And I don't know, I know they come back down again when they start migrating back in the fall, but I can't imagine that's it. I'm just wondering with the cool weather if they're coming out of the forest a bit more, because it's cool. Like, it's only 79 or 80 today, which let me see, which, just had to look that up, is about 26 degrees, 27 Celsius. So it is just lovely. There's a cool breeze. It is a little humid, but it's not like crazy humid, so it's quite nice sitting out here. It feels different to 26 degrees in Australia. It really does. So I'm not sure. I don't know why. I think it might be the humidity. Because 26 degrees in Australia, Celsius, 80 degrees, that's almost cold. Like, that's almost pull out a cardigan kind of weather. But here it feels hotter, warmer, like not hot, but I don't know, it's weird. I think it might be the humidity that does that. Anyway, I'm not sure. So I am back out here with my coffee and my thoughts and the hummingbirds. And I thought I would just finish a little thought that I started talking about yesterday, which was the connection between homesteading and homeschooling for us. And I do think it probably depends on your ideas and your philosophy around homeschooling, because there are definitely lots of ways to do it, right? Like when I started homeschooling 12 years ago, I was very much, I must do this by the book. I must follow a set curriculum. We will sit down at the table and we will follow out and do our lessons just like as if we're in a school. I don't do that anymore. I did that a lot for a few years, and then I think the more I did it, the more books I read, the more it was mainly books back then. Like these days I listen to podcasts, but they weren't really a thing at that time. So it was just books that I read, and other homeschool mums that I talked to this is when we were living on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, beautiful part of the world. And there was a pretty big homeschool community there. And so lots of opportunities for get-togethers with other families, for homeschool specific activities that were, and extracurriculars and things like that. And I slowly gained the confidence, and I also slowly gained my own thoughts and ideas about what we wanted for an education for our children. And that really does make a big difference, because people have different goals. They have different reasons why they're homeschooling, different ideas and on what that should be, and different goals of the outcomes that they're looking for. And for us, it's not about reaching a certain academic status or a certain test score. That's not our goal. Our goal in education, it's kind of hard to put it in a nutshell, isn't it, when you sit and think about why? But it's really more about passing on a life and a knowledge and the wisdom of the years that have gone before. And maybe it's more about several years into my homeschooling journey, I read a book about a woman called Charlotte Mason, who many of you may have heard of. I was not familiar with her at the time, and I remember reading that book, that one of my dear beautiful friends, Lisa, back in Australia, had given me the book, like loaned it to me to read. And I read that book and just wept through the first several chapters, because she was describing exactly what I was looking for, what I wanted our homeschool to be, but didn't know how to achieve it, didn't know what that looked like, and didn't know if that was okay, didn't have the confidence to say, no, this is good. This is better than just enough. This is good. Anyway, so I slowly started reading more about her. You should see that little hummingbird there. He's got bright emerald green wings and a beautiful ruby throat, like just bright red. So pretty. Obviously a male. And now he's over in the basil flowers. Anyway, I digress. So, Charlotte Mason has a quote, and I'll probably butcher it because this is not a direct quote, but she basically says, at the end of a child's education, ask not how much does the child know, but how much does the child care? And I think that is a really intelligent, thoughtful thing to say, because a lot of times we don't ask that. We ask, how much does the child know? Can they quote, this and that? What's their test score? We love this life that we have chosen here, living close as possible to well, not close as possible. We're not off grid or anything, but just a more simple agrarian life. Our children may not choose that, and we are completely okay with that, 100%. Whatever direction they want to take is completely fine with us. We have one who is mechanically minded, one who is more musical, one who, our son in Australia at the moment is working as a butcher. Like, people, they have their own life to live, and they get to choose what they want to do. And that is 100% fine, no matter what it is. Our goal has always been less about the academics. I want to give them what they need to know to be able to choose whatever path they want without being hindered in that. But ultimately, our end goal is who they are as people, and what is their moral compass, and what are their values, and how much do they care, and how do they treat other people, and how have they learned to work hard? Have they learned to be compassionate? Have they learned to put others before themselves? Because really, if you have these things, no matter what vocation you choose, you will do well. So anyway, back to this connection. So I feel like this has come full circle in a really delightful way. So one of the goals in this is for us to give our children a lifelong love of learning, because it's one thing to say, I have learnt this subject, done a test and passed it. It's another to say, to raise children who, no matter where they are in life, can look at a certain thing and say, oh, I want to learn about that, and then pursue it themselves, who have that lifelong curiosity and haven't had that stomped out of them. And one of the ways that I think is really important to do that is teaching our children to live with eyes wide open. Now, we read a book for school last year. I think it was called Madam How and Lady Why. And it's a very, very old book, written a very long time ago. And I don't even remember all the little nitty-gritties of it, actually. But he was this like uncle figure talking to his nephews, I think, if I'm remembering it correctly. And he was taking them through the area where they lived, which I believe was in England somewhere. And he was basically teaching them to observe, to slow down and look and watch and learn how things are. And you can have two people walk through the same area. He told this story. Two boys walking home the same way along a certain path. And one boy got home and said, it's just the same old path, there was nothing to see. And the other talked for 45 minutes about all the things he had discovered, the little creatures he saw, what the brook was doing that he crossed, all of the things he observed on the way home. It's something I feel like was a gift my dad gave me, because he was very much all about being observant. And for him, it probably was more from a utilitarian perspective. It was more about being able to watch and know what was happening on the farm, to be able to read an animal's body language and know what they were going to do next, to be able to watch the wildlife and see what it could tell me about weather patterns, or what might be happening that I might need to be aware of as far as animal behavior or movements. So he had a deep love and respect for the bush, but he wasn't like, I'm more romantic and whimsical, and I can just so easily get awestruck by the beauty of nature. And Dad loved it. He lived and breathed it. Hey, Don't do that, Shadow. You'll wreck the mat, honey. But he was also very much about the work and, yeah, probably a little bit more utilitarian. Now, my mum, on the other hand, I think gave me a deep love for literature and the beauty of the written word. And I think there's sort of like this perfect marrying of these two concepts in this idea of a Charlotte Mason education. So anyway, there's that as sort of a backdrop. And then you bring in homesteading, which is really like a repeat of my childhood, only with a lot more intentionality around things like permaculture principles and our wanting to do all of this in the way that is best for the land, as best for the animals, as well as being productive. So it's about slowing down, looking, listening, observing. And you really have to do that if you want to learn anything, but you also have to do that if you want to homestead well, especially if you want to do it using the ideas of permaculture or a holistic approach. There's a lot of different terms that can be used and bandied about to describe that. It's being able to see the connectedness of all things. And it's this idea, permaculture sees it as the connection, everything is connected, and you can build gardening systems, animal husbandry practices around your home hub that create symbiotic relationships, and everything helps each other. Like the worm farm next to the gardens, and then the chickens are there in the same area creating compost. These are all symbiotic relationships. In the Charlotte Mason education, she calls it the science of relations. Everything is interconnected and related. You can see how one thing affects another. So in both, it's very much about learning to live with your eyes wide open. And for me as well, for us, my husband and I, it's also about living as much as possible. Can you hear the rain? It's coming down now. Living as much as possible in a way that honors and glorifies the Creator. And I wrote a blog about this. It's a few years ago now, when we were traveling around Queensland. After my husband's illness and his battle with cancer, we packed up everything and put our big family in a little caravan and traveled around Queensland. And again, it was this idea, this drawing to a simple life, and being able to, like, even just right now, sitting out here watching the hummingbirds and the rain gently falling and the ducks kind of stretching their wings in the rain. They love it. There is a very great level of satisfaction, connectedness, and I don't know, it's just a deeply grounding way to live, to me. I can only speak for me and what speaks to me, and that is definitely something I have found to be true. I know it was true in my childhood. Those are my dearest memories of just walking through the valley floor on my own along the creek, listening to the birds, hearing the she oaks stirring in the breeze, and the birds, the cockatoos, and the cattle bellowing in the distance down the valley, and just knowing that I was a small part of this, but that it was all there for a reason, And both the beauty and the usefulness of it were just as important. One was not more important than the other. So I guess it's learning and teaching our children to see the fingerprints of God in every circumstance and situation. And of course, you do not need to live an agrarian life to be able to do that. You can see God's hand no matter where you live. But I do think there is something about this lifestyle where we are trying to grow our own food, to raise animals, build gardens, support the native wildlife, rebuild habitats, rebuild soil. There's something about that life that brings you to a closer connectedness with your food and with the land that is just a perfect place to facilitate a love of learning and discovery and a fascination with the world that we have been given. It's a very natural process. It's very organic and simple, yet somehow very profound and beautiful at the same time. I wish you could see these hummingbirds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 there right now. Yep. Oh, they're just gorgeous. It's crazy. So, as I have been planning this next 12 months, I've just been mulling over all these things and really just a very deep sense of gratitude that I have the opportunity to do this. Now, we have had to make a lot of sacrifices, a lot of big financial sacrifices to choose this homeschooling life. My background before I was married and had children was journalism. That is the field I worked in. It's what I studied at university. And we chose very deliberately for me to stay home with the children and teach them and raise them and be there for them. Now, that has taken a lot of financial sacrifice, and that's been our choice. That's been our choice that no, we would rather this than this. So we could have lived a much more comfortable life financially if we had have chosen for me to work, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm so very, very grateful. I guess you could say it has been a very deliberate choice to live a simple life, a frugal life, and to choose to live with our eyes wide open and to choose to live a wonder-filled life. Sometimes we get so busy with the busyness of things that we don't stop to realize how much beauty and wonder there is all around us. That is definitely something that I hope my children will carry into their futures, is the joy of being able to delight in the simple things, the simple, beautiful things that we've all been given. Anyway, I thought I would share those little thoughts I've been having with you today as I enjoy the rain and this little reprieve in the summer heat, and get ready to start our school year. Apparently this has been one of the wettest summers on record, and I can believe it because we have had a whole bunch of rain. It's amazing. I still have enough memories of decades of drought to be very, very grateful right now for the rain. So I hope wherever you are that you are safe and dry and getting enough sunshine and enough raindrops. We'll see you next time.